Welcome to the setlist for World Championship Showmatch for the Buddel map Happy. On the left side of the map we have playing SF Evolution as Romans, and on the right side we have SF Jessen 20 playing as Trojan. I will call them Evolution and Jessen from now on in the rest of the cast. And with that, I am going to introduce you a bit into the map. This is a Buddel map with, you need to dig up the ground, not like the Metzel. You have very little starting stone, a tree in the middle, and then you have stone mines immediately to the top of you. You have stone fields all around the edges, scattered, a relatively short rush distance, and then you're at the enemy. The mountains are rich as always, and starts will include stone mines for every civilization, pretty much guaranteed. There's also 8 gold bars here in the middle. We're playing peacetime of 40 minutes, so soldiers can only cross the center after 40 minutes, and after 60 minutes, saboteurs and war machines and stuff like that can follow. Yeah, right now we're seeing relatively standard starts, building houses, building stone cutters, Trojans starting with the small houses, Romans starting with the middle, medium houses, that's how they're called. Yeah, right now nothing too interesting. I assume that we'll be, I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm curious if Jessen will be playing a mana Trojan or a actual grain farm Trojan. Both are valid options on Buddel, as you need you need a relatively strong peacetime timing with the rush distance being this short. You need a really strong timing for the peacetime, and the battery, the mana build does have a slower start. Now we're seeing that after the stone cutters, the saws are already coming. This is because behind these trees, like it's not visible because the trees are covering it, there are logs. We'll be able to see that very soon when they are carrying the logs from down here to the saw or the saw on Evolution side. We'll be seeing relatively small numbers of saws and stone cutters. Nothing too crazy, because with the Buddel needing diggers to actually dig for your buildings, you do need way more tools, and needing way more tools means you can't build as many saws. Here you see we already have logs, even though we only have one woodcutter that isn't even yet working. So this is a relatively quick start for the wood-based civilizations, or in other words, everyone that isn't Mayans, because everybody else needs wood in quite a huge amount. We see we only have 2 stone cutters and 2 stone mines, because the stone mines running on 100% are absolutely insanely bonkers, really strong, and yeah, just producing a lot of stone. On this side we're seeing only 1 stone mine, which is a little surprising to me. 4 stone cutters, 1 stone mine probably is enough for the beginning, but I also don't really see a reason why you wouldn't build a second stone mine, as you have a lot of you have a lot of bread, and fish is also available in this river. Generally fish, unlike the Metzel, is available everywhere. There's no place where you can't fish. So there's no necessarily, you don't necessarily need to go to the coast where warships could clear out the fisher huts. But the map is small enough that you'll quite soon, like when 60-minute mark hits and warships are allowed, you will have buildings on the coast no matter what. Like you need to build like the smallest build, like only playing like 2-3 saws to not have a building on the coastline at the 60-minute mark. And those builds tend to be a little weak. just playing 2 or 3 souls. I assume we'll be seeing like 5 souls, maybe 6 at some point later on added for the Trojan, and 7 souls probably on the Roman side. I don't actually know a decent Roman build for Buddel. I'm not that into the Romans to know that. But yeah, right now we're just seeing normal forest build-ups with Forcer and 2 lumberjacks on each side. On both sides. Now the Trojans can fill in the space much more efficiently because the buildings are way smaller. But we also see that we have more souls standing, but not as much of the rest of the wood industry. Generally, I don't think I'm seeing any mistakes or any huge divergence that are too interesting at this very beginning, other than the fact that we have 2 stone mines and only 1 stone mine here. Here you're seeing the stone mine is continuously running and the stone is actively needed, while these 2 stone mines are just fully full with stone and aren't actually producing anything anymore. Generally said, you also need to get to these stone fields relatively quickly because these are just like they're gone in basically no time. We're seeing that if Jessen is covering the center a bit with some units to make sure that no seas are going to come through. Yeah, expected like numbers for peacetime on this map are around 200. There's no general like builds are still in people are still trying to vary with builds. Marian right now are probably still too strong, and we'll probably still do a tiny buff to all the other civilizations. Right now Trojans and Romans both have already some extra starting resources. Because Mayans just stone mines right at the start. Multiple of them. It's just too strong. They just immediately go away with everything, and that makes it so that we have to buff the other civilizations a tiny bit. Right now Trojans are getting 16 stone and 8 wood, and the Romans get 12 stone and 12 wood. So very even for these civilizations. I assume it will be quite even match. But we need to consider that the Trojan bowmen in the end will be a little weaker, doing roughly 5% less DPS as their attack speed is roughly 5% lower. If it's a bug or a feature, it's debatable, but it probably is kind of both. At least nowadays it's more a feature, while it probably is just a bug on the side of the devs when they implemented it. We are seeing, I'm pretty sure these are grain farms, so this is a peacetime orientated build from Jessen. Not planning on building any sunflower farms to build a battery to maybe try hitting a more mid-game orientated timing. It's also really hard to hit mid-game orientated timings on this map as Trojan, as you don't really have a lot of space. Like, you can hit your mid-game timing, but there's no late game afterwards, because at that point you're already capped on space. We're seeing these grain farms are really big. I assume we already have some place on this side as well. No, we don't actually. There's still some more saws coming. We're currently at 6 saws, assuming this will be a 7th. Maybe it's a house? I think that might be a house. So 6 saws right now, 5 saws here. Trojans do need a little less wood, but if you're building food eco instead of mana eco, you do actually need quite a lot of wood as the Trojans as well. We will only see bread production, as it's usual for these maps. Having 100% iron mines makes it so that you can, with Hunter, just get the meat that way and a little bit of fish, and you're like good to go for at least the peacetime and a little bit longer. Yeah, right now we're seeing still some pretty clean builds. I think Jessen is looking relatively tight on settlers, but it's totally fine. He's building small horses, they are done really quickly. He doesn't really need to overstock on settlers too much, but it's also similarly tight on Evolution side. Evolution is right now still as a house that is producing settlers, already at the bottom 2 stone fields, getting the stone cutters up and running. Here we are seeing the same. Toolsmiths on both sides already there as well. Didn't see which one had it faster, but looking at this, they didn't transport any of the coal yet. I think there's like a tiny lack of settlers for him, because we have already iron here, coal there, but like no coal on the iron smelter yet. Assume there was like a little bit of a lack of settlers, so they needed to run from all the way at the bottom. Well, this toolsmith is already actively running. The mines should now come very soon as well, so that they continue to run afterwards. It is very nice as the Trojans that in the early game you don't really need much wood, so he can really spend the wood on the grain farms already, having the grain farms ready to go, and using that time while they are getting their first grain ready to then like build some other needed things like the stone cutters on the bottom 2 stone fields. Grain farms are now coming for the Roman as well. We see these take up quite significant less space, and the rest of the food production will also take up less space. The heavy industry will take up less space, so it's really just the space is mostly an issue for the Trojans on this map, with their buildings just generally being bigger, which is a unique thing for the civilizations. Their resource costs are also all over the place. They're generally just quite distinct from the other civilizations if it comes to the build up. So having the mana build available as an option to choose. Now, I think the mines are coming on Yessen's side. Evolution did build the weapon or toolsmith later, or started producing later, so the mines are also not yet coming. Generally, right now, the Trojan does look a little bit ahead. Yessen does look a little bit ahead, already having grain farms standing. Already one working as well, seeding the grain, while here the first ones are standing now, like are ready, but the scythes are not yet picked up and didn't go into the buildings yet. I think this is probably already the not food production. I mean, it is food production. But yeah, the rest, the mill, the bakery, that kind of stuff. Which I'm a little bit surprised because these haven't actually grown any grain yet. There's nothing to use. Ah, never mind, these are houses. That makes sense. Yeah, this is a large house, medium house, medium house. Makes much more sense. I was a little confused. Yeah, now this looks like... This is a large house, but this looks like a mill and I assume a bakery. So that the grain that is soon going to be ready will actually be immediately used to make some bread. And from there, the transition into heavy industry could already come. A hunter is also already placed. While here, still a little behind. A lot of fishes are coming now. I think on this side, less so, because the fishes are just larger again. But we already have 2 fishers up here next to the starting tower. The starting tower was crushed from evolution so that he can fit more fishes in here more tightly, have more space to use. And I just realized that I need to quickly make sure I'm going to hear donations, because I don't think I right now could hear donations if they come in. And with that, of course, there's a command exclamation mark S4 we see donate if you want to donate to the World Championship. We've already raised, I think the last known number I had was like 150 euro. We are needing around 500 euro to cover the costs. Everything more would go to the prize pool. Okay, now I should be able to hear if donations come in. Checking if I might have missed one as well, just to make sure I didn't. Yes, all good. So, what has happened in the meantime? The iron mine and coal mine are too late to keep the toolsmith running? Yeah, no, it's too late. I assume these iron bars will be used up already. But not too late. It will just be a tiny lack of iron. This side, yeah, we are seeing the first mills are coming in. The grain is made into flour. And the bakeries are also building. Looks like there is enough wood and stone on them. And yeah, right now the Trojan is still ahead. We are seeing the first waterwork on that as well. Pretty nice build up so far. Not seeing any major mistakes. We have lots of settlers around. Large house. Getting a lot of stone. Being done soon as well. This side large house already being done. Only now the mills are coming, as the grain farms were a little delayed as well. In the end, I am now kind of expecting, if everything goes well, that Jessen with Trojan will have a few more soldiers, and we'll see if somebody actually tries to get in some combat power, because that will be like much needed if they're going to take a fight right off the rip. There you can take a relatively good defensive position here with like having the enemy stand in the water and in the kind of lakes here, so that you have a longer line, more bowmen shooting. Alternatively, defensive barracks are also quite a potent option, just having barracks like back here, and then you have buildings here, here, some mines and some mines, and then you can really play a great defensive or can take a really great defensive stance. But if the enemy pushes for combat power, it'll be hard to get out of that position at the 60-minute mark, where saboteurs and co could come in. Large house here is done building, and with that we should be able to have should not be any settlers shortages. Next large house, already the first couple heavy industry buildings are coming, while here actually the first few are already building as well, with a lot of medium houses coming in. There's less bread, like these are just now starting to actually, like the grain just now grew, and bread production only now is starting to run. The first few coal mines are standing here as well. Fish on coal as well, interesting. It's probably like a 1% on coal, so that fish that is produced more than needed will still be put somewhere. It's not wasted. Fishes aren't going to stop working. I'm quite surprised that already like this, although the grain farms are standing quite a lot earlier, the first few heavy industry buildings are coming at a relatively similar timing for both of these players. I don't think there are any concerns in terms of settlers right now either, on either side. We should see relatively soon some barracks being placed so that they can put the storages in front of them to have a little bit of a cleaner to just store the gold bars and weapons. Yeah, here we're already seeing the first barracks coming in. I do think right now, looking at the Roman, that we do see there's more, like the wood is, the planks are all used up, while here I think, yeah, there's six saw now on the Trojan side. I don't know when that came in, but there is one now. The wood used to, the boards were stacking up a tiny bit, but it is all now actually going again. We're seeing barracks being placed here as well. I don't think 2, 4, 6, 7. We're actually seeing a 7th now. Yeah, it's 7. 7th saw for the Roman as well. Stone cutters are completely full with stone, no issue on that side. Stone cutter full here as well. Still only one stone mine. I mean, if it works, it works. Can't complain. So far, still looks pretty dang clean on both sides, and I'm excited to see what they're actually going to have as soldiers for the peacetime. We are seeing the first couple Cs now trying to get the 8 extra free gold in the middle. Not trying to scout though, which also is not impossible, but pretty close to impossible. I think this gap you could technically get a sieve through, and probably this. Still quite hard. I mean, there isn't really much to commentate right now. They're just both playing a clean game, nothing special or crazy, just a very standard build-up. And I feel like we're gonna see a very standard clash at the 40-minute mark if this continues like this. Like, I feel like both of them are playing a clean game, are playing a more peacetime-orientated game, and we'll just have a big crash when the peacetime comes, and they both have the soldiers that they want to have ready. Actually, this, yeah, no. And this, yeah, just looks really clean on both sides right now. I don't think there are any ore issues. Maybe here. No, it doesn't look like that either. Everything that is actually having a settler in the building already does have the ores they need. I do see a little bit of a lack of gold smelters on the Trojan side right now though. I mean, weapons are important, but you also need gold for some, or for soldiers. If you aren't producing tier 3 soldiers, you're probably just going to lose the game. I mean, I'd be excited to see somebody not producing any tier 3 soldiers and somehow win the game. That'd be quite impressive. But I have the feeling that won't actually happen. The gold smelters are coming on top here. We're seeing a large house at the north coast where the shipyard. The shipyard could technically come in, but yeah, just immediately giving up on that opportunity. As I said, I assume this will be a game that is finished around peacetime. Like just 5 minutes later, I feel like there'll be the match might just be decided already, with a big clash in the middle happening in the time frame from 40 minutes to 45 minutes. And then a person that can push further and probably win the game. I hope it's close enough that it might be like, oh, they're fighting and nobody won decisively enough that they can actually finish the game and it goes into a little bit of longer game. That'd be quite interesting to see. But just looking from how they're building up, I feel like that clash will happen right at peacetime. We're seeing that Jessen takes the land here on the front side, capturing it and ripping his combat power in this area. If he wants to take a defensive fight, he basically can't. Like if you stand behind the pawns here in the middle, you just are going to. And there the sea's running through. But if you're standing behind the pawns, you're standing in your land, and at that point the combat power probably doesn't matter either. The better line doesn't matter, and the combat power matters more. His Thieves did manage to get in from Evolution onto Jessen's side. I'm wondering if the one Thief that I'm seeing existing for Jessen is also is somewhere in an Evolution settlement. I feel like it might be. But we'll see. I'm a little surprised with like 4 weaponsmiths and only like 4 gold smelters right now standing on the Trojan side. Well, we have already much more gold smelters on the Roman side. I do think they aren't like all fully perfectly working. I mean, how many gold mines do we have? Only 4. This is 4, this is 8, this is 10. I think that might be enough. I don't exactly know how many gold mines are enough for 10 gold smelters. But yeah, producing already lots of gold. Also getting the 8 gold out of the middle. While on this side we aren't seeing too much gold smelters. You need to realize as well that the gold smelters of the Trojan are also worse than the gold smelters of the Romans. So Jessen will need to build a few more gold smelters to actually be able to produce enough gold bars. Generally both are still... yeah, looks like they're still managing to build all the wood they're producing. Like nobody produces too much wood, which is usually like the thing you don't want to have. Having your source just full with planks and not building buildings because you're missing out on stone. Or diggers. Something like that. And resources built is also very even right now. The Roman evolution is 50 resources ahead, but it is only 50 resources. Not actually that much. Now, we are seeing that the storages on both sides are filling. Right now I think there's a little bit more on the Roman side, on Evolution side. Evolution also having actually built a few more... Oh wait, actually Jessen just caught up with the resources, like a lot. It's like only 20 behind now, so it's probably, I don't know, large house was done building or something like that, or like multiple probably. Some of these weaponsmiths, just a lot of buildings finishing at the same time. So it's actually much more even in that department than I expected it to be. This is actually, like, it just looks clean on both sides, like it's clean gameplay. Love to see it. Food-wise, looks good. Ore-wise, looks good. Settlers are looking good. Generally looks good. And I think same to be seeing on this side as well. Looks like iron. There's iron ore. Yeah. Barely running. And barely running is what you want. You like stacking up on resources is not necessary. But yeah, it is just clean. I think I will now, because otherwise Twitch will run some ads. I will now run some ads because this is just clean gameplay. And I don't want the ads to be running when we are in the middle of a fight after peacetime. But yeah, this is just clean gameplay and nothing really to point out. Both sides playing well, nothing concerning. They're just playing a very standard gameplay. And they're doing it well. I feel like there could maybe be a few more fishes. Yeah, a few more fishes for Jessen I feel like would be it. 6 fishes on like 8 gold mines, 4 iron mines that are at least getting a little bit of fish is a little tight. Especially since iron mines need much more fish to actually run than the gold mines would need it. And Evolution is now going to the back stone field. Generally said, these the positions here are technically mirrored. So we have this, we have the center in the middle, and that center here is mirroring the positions so that you have on both sides a stone field away from the enemy, the mountain for vineyards close to the enemy, and the desert is away from the enemy, but everything else on this map is just in the position itself also mirrored, so that you have like this mountain with gold and sulfur on it, and that is just also on the other side. So you can really choose in which direction you're wanting to build up. You can choose to build up away from the enemy with your barracks or towards the enemy. In this case, both players place their barracks towards the enemy, which makes sense. I feel like both are going to be wanting to do a peacetime timing. And we're seeing bowmen, backpack catapultists, and swords on the Trojan side. Assume we're seeing only bowmen here? Yeah, only bowmen here. I do think this is like more weapons, but it's hard to really say because we're having weapons, bows, and backpack catapultists on these barracks, while here only 8 bows can go onto one barracks. Yeah. So the storage looks fuller on the Roman side, but it might not actually be more weapons. They do have a very similar build-up in terms of how fast they got into the heavy industry. I think also how much heavy industry they're building. Actually, I think on the Roman side we're currently having less weaponsmiths. Let me count. We have 1 weaponsmith, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Evolution with 7 weaponsmiths. While here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weaponsmiths. 10 weaponsmiths already. Of course, this one just finished building. So that will take a while till it's actually producing weapons. So weapon production should be higher than Evolution's relatively soon. Now we're also seeing that bread is starting to run low on the coal mines. It's still perfectly fine. Like 1 bread on everything is fine. Here we're seeing the same already occurring as well, actually. Now we also see lots of gold smelters. I think, yeah, there's probably like, yeah, it's the 10, not more than that. And on this side we have like plenty. 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, which makes sense. We need roughly twice the amount of gold smelters to weaponsmiths as the Trojans. Now, both of them are starting to recruit their soldiers, so we'll be seeing once the storages are empty how much one of these players is going to be ahead. We have a lack of settlers on one of these sides. Do you think that Jessen's amount of settlers right now is not that many? Already building the next few grain farms here at the right side. Large house coming in. We have a lot of medium houses that will... Like, these are not yet done with producing their settlers, and there are more coming. So it's totally fine on Jessen's side. Nothing to think about here. We have plenty of settlers as well. Just cleanly played. And if you look at it, a very mirrored build-up as well. We saw, obviously, forests in the middle. And then we see the initial food production towards the south and then away from the enemy on both sides. Then we have obviously the heavy industries just towards the mountain mostly. On the Trojan side, lots above as well, because the Trojans just need too much. Like, they need to build too much heavy industry to really put it somewhere else. Barracks in between the mountains towards the enemy, and then we have houses at the opposite side of the food production of the forest. And yeah, we have some more houses here. Grain farms for the Romans and Trojans are also coming in the same place, building up really similarly, both of them going for very standard build up. But right now, I'm a little concerned about the storage not being fully empty. While this looks like it ran cleanly. We have 144 soldiers on the Roman side. Looks like there's not really much left to recruit. Now it's just the production that is actively running. Lacking a little bit of gold bars, which I'm actually surprised, considering how early his gold smelters were standing, but apparently they weren't continuously working. And on this side we are lacking a little bit on the recruiting part. And there was a sieve killed. Scouting playing an important role. If Evolution scouted that there's not everything recruited, which might still change, we're still having 2.5 minutes. But I feel like the settlers are needing to walk too long of a distance, and the barracks are just not running smoothly enough. Like that, you just dropped a gold bar and then didn't decide to be the soldier that recruited that. Like, they're getting pulled away a lot from these gold mines. That's a decision that I think Evolution did better, putting the gold mines on the back of the mountain, on the back mountain instead of the front mountain. Generally not having as many mines here on the front mountain, because every settler that is standing at the barracks is just standing there and going to be immediately recruiting a soldier, while back here the mines are getting the settlers from there. On this side, settlers are coming from down here, might be doing something at the barracks, but they aren't going to stand there because immediately a mine spits out some ore that will be brought somewhere, or weapon or gold bar right next will be ready to be picked up as well. So these are not running nearly as smoothly as you wish them to be running, and probably they need to be running. We are currently still on a 50 soldier gap, but I don't think that the 50 soldier gap is a gap that is there because of a lack of weapons or gold bars. You know, I think it's just the fact that he can't recruit yet, or can't recruit fast enough. There are no lack of settlers on either side. Either we have the grain farms coming, the rest of the chain will follow soon as well. Generally still a pretty clean up. I'm just very concerned about these barracks. And the peacetime is now only half a minute away. Half a minute, and we have a difference of a little less than 50 soldiers, which is a large enough difference to just lose the game. Combat power wise, oh, I didn't see that. Evolution has built beautifications, and this looks like it's gonna be 2 sets, 3 sets. Looks like it's gonna be 3 sets. Peacetime is over. Currently 195 soldiers for Evolution, the Roman, and 165 soldiers for Yessen. Now, Yessen is also, combat power 128 for Evolution, and for Yessen the combat power is 101. Evolution now sees the swords, and the backpack catapultus is currently backing. Not sure if he's wanting to be continuously backing, but I assume he just wants to stack his army into one place, knowing that swordsman and backpack catapultus are really great at taking a fight in the open. Now, these are gonna probably be caught by the fact that this is a full size army and the bowmen down here are out of position. He doesn't know where Evolution is actually moving right now, while Evolution is sending a level 1 swordsman to scout a bit. This all does give Yessen the time to recruit more soldiers. There's still more in the storage. He can still be recruiting more and actually have more soldiers on the field. Another issue is though, there are no... Oh, beautifications are coming as well. Ooh, this is a very short timing for Evolution, that Evolution right now is not yet taking. Soldiers are really even right now, but combat power is still ahead. Still better for Evolution. Evolution being really stacked just to really make sure the swords can't have a huge impact. Few soldiers down here from Yessen, but issue still stands. Everything from Evolution is at this top place. And I mean, well, if all these swordsmen were just like standing down here, these soldiers go in, are like here, and he just like, I just go in. He could do the finishing blow. There is no mana on either side. This is a single tower that is, I mean, probably not a finishing blow now that I think about it. Yeah, there is a safe tower in the back. But I mean, taking this tower and just just still having some swords and just scattering around, you'll probably win faster. There, I don't think there's a single safe tower in the back that isn't this large tower. Now soldiers are now, Yessen is now ahead in the total amount of soldiers, having lots of bowmen and this tiny group of swords and backpack catapultists that can bring great value, but I am concerned that they're just going to run into a huge mass of soldiers and just evaporate, because they just are outnumbered. Right now we're seeing that Yessen is not able to fully use the wood he is producing anymore, still has more resources used to building. Yeah, wood is getting full on Evolution side as well. There's some movement, still just stacking, not yet attacking. It is, yeah, quite dangerous though. 130 combat power. I think Evolution is waiting for the 132, probably some of the beautifications still in building, almost done finishing. I don't know where they are, or where they would be, but I assume that way. And we see the swords going in. Please don't. Please realize, okay, he does realize that he is outnumbered then, does not want to take the fight. The bowmen are moving up a bit. These bowmen are wanting to try to pressure around the side there. Yeah, backing away with the swords and backpack catapultus is a good choice, bringing in more bowmen at the top. 131 combat power. 150, it would be great for Yessen to get the 119 combat power before the fight starts. I don't think that'll quite happen, but it would be needed. And oh, okay, Evolution sees that there's a chunk of army down here. Yessen now realizes that he's coming in there, is backing off, but can he really be backing? He is now standing almost... okay, he's still in front of his land. Swordsman and backpack catapultists are coming in at the top. These bowmen are trying to cut out the reinforcements. This fight is looking decent-ish. I think this is better for the Roman, because these swords, the Roman swordsmen are really making sure that the splash damage of the backpack catapultist is not really hitting the bowmen, but the swordsmen of the Trojan are not evaporating as quickly as needed for evolution. Now, these bowmen are coming in. These are late to the fight. The backpack catapultists are starting to die. They were not backed away. Now, evolution does not get reinforcements. 132 combat power is there for evolution. Soldiers are already less for the Trojan. Combat line is better for evolution, for the Roman. Yeah, these are now just getting picked up by these few swords that are taking relatively good trades. Having a clean bow line there, having a clean bow line here. These are out of the own land, having offensive combat power, but only 118 compared to 132. Better bowman for the Roman, and that is probably going to be a one fight for evolution. I don't think there's a lack of settlers or anything like that coming in that would just kill this. This large tower is not gonna save Jessen either. These soldiers that were doing the flank will be completely cleared up. And the soldiers here at the barracks are also in a concave. A very huge concave. Yeah, soldiers are coming in. The reinforcements are not cut off anymore. And the front line didn't even break in the meantime. This is looking very grim for Jessen. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a relatively soon GG call. This is also horrible. Having... yeah... just settlers stack up at the barracks. And it doesn't cause a lack of settlers, it makes the barracks 10 times worse. And yeah, there's just no more soldiers realistically left. I don't think there are any swordsmen for evolution anymore, but they are producing. We are seeing 2 swordsmen here, 3 swordsmen, 4 swordsmen. He'll soon have enough. Jessen sees that he lost this game. GG's, well played. Evolution wins the show match. As I said, relatively quick decided. 47 minutes is the time it took for Evolution to actually attack and finish out the game. Now, it didn't happen as soon as I thought. I thought it would be a pretty direct clash. But Jessen wasn't confident enough, of course, because Barracks didn't yet produce, and then Evolution did take an offensive position. We are now seeing in the end statistics that Jessen had more soldiers, but was lacking the combat power. The trade was horrible, trading like 130 soldiers negative. Yeah, that's just a horrible trade. I mean, I assume it's not all soldiers, there were some Cs in there involved as well. You're seeing actually more ores, like Jessen really had an opportunity to outplay Evolution, but Evolution was just ready to attack with a good timing, lots of soldiers, and combat power. Combat power is just a huge advantage. It's making every single soldier better, so even if you have less soldiers, you can still win. Now, I'm gonna see, they are probably already doing the interview. I'm gonna join them, I'm gonna try to translate what they're saying, because the interview will mostly happen in German. Maybe I'll put in some questions in English here and there as well. If you want to ask a question, write it in chat and I will bring it up.
Muss ich meinen Stream öffnen. Perfekt. Oh ja, das ist ja wirklich ausgeglichen gewesen.
Hello, hello.
Hallo, Mr. Agros. Machen wir das Interview in Deutsch oder wie ist der Plan?
Ihr macht's in Deutsch und ich übersetze es in meinem Stream, während ich gemutet bin. Das habe ich beim letzten Mal auch so gemacht.
Ah ja, nice. Überlegen, wie steigen wir an? Rob, du hattest dir, glaube ich, ein paar Fragen aufgeschrieben, da während des Spielverlaufes.
I'm muted now and they're gonna ask some questions.
An die ich mich erinnern kann, ist einmal, dass Gold, Fabi, bei dir? Lief das rund durch oder würdest du sagen, dass da ein paar Aussetzer gab?
Ich hatte einmal kurz SM, ansonsten lief es rund durch.
Ja,
Aber das
okay.
war auch
Ja,
nur
das-
so ein on-the-edge SM, der war ja schnell wieder weg. Das war halt wirklich komplett greedy gespielt. Bin ich
Mhm,
mit ins
okay.
Auge davon gekommen.
Ja,
Question
hatten wir
was
live dann
if
auch so gesehen.
Evolution's gold was actually continuously running through there,
Würdest du irgendwie dein Spiel
but
sagen? Wie fandest du es?
Evolution said
Ja,
that
ziemlich
his
clean.
that his gold
Ja.
Greedy
was
hoch,
running,
meine 8 Waffen
and there was
spielen
like
und 14
on-edge
Gold
settlers, so
schmelzen,
that
bevor ich
was
überhaupt
why
eine
it wasn't
Kaserne
running
hochgezogen
perfectly.
habe. Dann sind mir ganz leicht die Siedler um die Ohren geflogen, das ging dann aber, weil das Gold hinten raus jetzt auch gar nicht schlimm war. Ich meine, ich kam ja auf die Kampfkraft, ich habe keine Einsätze.
Generally said, Evolution is very happy about his game and how he played. Were a few things where it was like,
Ich
oh,
habe ihn auch schon dicken SM gesehen zur Peacetime und dann kommt halt Stefan und überfährt mich, aber
yeah.
lief schon alles.
So Evolution was like thinking that he'd be in a
Bin sehr zufrieden mit.
really big lack of settlers at peacetime, but was actually totally fine.
Ja.
Das habe ich auch gesehen, ja.
Hattest du nochmal mit den Gedanken gespielt, die eine Kaserne abzureißen? Oder,
Ja, aber dann habe ich mir gedacht, mit 2 Kasernen drücke ich genauso wenig. Und da war es dann irgendwie schon zu spät.
They're talking about the barracks of Jessen.
ist wahrscheinlich richtig.
The question was if Jessen was thinking about actually
Situation.
crushing one of the barracks so the settlers weren't stacking up anymore, but Jessen was thinking that he wouldn't be producing more soldiers with two
Ja, ich
with two barracks instead of 3.
Der Plan war eben, vor der Schwerindustrie ein paar große zu bauen und währenddessen ein paar große mitzuziehen und dann kurz vorm Rekrutieren die mittleren rauszuhämmern, damit ich dann schnell die Siedler habe. Das ist ziemlich gut aufgegangen.
Du hast jetzt dieses Spiel dich für den
Plan of Jessen was to build a few large settlement, large houses before
Also
the peacetime.
generell eigentlich immer mit Nahrungstrojaner. Einmal habe ich es probiert mit Mana, aber man hat einfach
Um,
so viel Fleisch durch die vielen
the
die Batterie.
okay, where was I? Yeah, started with large houses
Also
before the heavy industry, building a few and then a couple at the beginning of the large industry, and then going into medium houses before peacetime to really make sure the settlers are coming in for the production of the soldiers. Now they were talking about the decision to be using the mana build, the grain farm build for the Trojan for Jessen instead of mana. Reason being, on Buddel, they wanted Jessen wanted to really have a strong peacetime timing, not be lacking behind in that department, not having too much meat, not building useless mines. Just really wanted to have a strong peacetime timing, which worked out relatively well if the barracks would have been working actively.
Alex, Troja wohl doch OP, wenn ein nach Ewos Aussagen perfektes Römermatch davon den Numbers noch leicht hinten dran ist. Wie würdet ihr das bewerten, Fabi? Jessen?
Ich weiß nicht. Ich sehe Troja nicht als OP. Ich würde sagen, Römer ist aber gleich schlecht.
Okay, well, put that and as a question there. Right now there was a question what since the current world championship the current world champ, that's how to say it, was asking what they were thinking about the current Civ matchup, thinking that Trojans are better. The Trojans are better is what the champion was saying, considering that the Roman gameplay was really clean, but the answer was like, they're probably evenly bad. Like, the Trojan had a few more soldiers, but not that many.
Letzten Minuten beim Römerspieler, so dass man, wenn man das Geld halt in Schwerindustrie reinsteckt, man sicherlich auch in den Trojaner-Bereich hier reingekommen wäre, wenn man es denn gewollt hätte. Aber es ist halt eben eine legitime Entscheidung, auch einfach
now it was talking about that
komplett durchzuballern.
they were trying to build combat power as Roman to attack, and the other option could have been like more heavy industry.
Und dann sind 3 Ziris von mir sind nicht fertig geworden und deswegen hing ich die ganze Zeit auf die 129 und konnte halt nicht angreifen. Das war
something we didn't notice. Roman also had Evolution had a lack of stone at the when building the beautifications, and that's why he was waiting so long.
Und dann auch gemerkt, dass du gerade ziemlich aktiv im Steinmangel bist, hatten dann aber auch keine Zeit mehr, deine Steinsituation nochmal detailliert anzugucken, weil dann schon der Kampf losging.
Ich habe auch noch eine Frage.
Ja, warte kurz,
okay.
das war halt übelst müßig für mich, weil diese 3 Series brauchen halt jedes noch einen Stein und dann musste ich wirklich meine komplette Siedlung durchkämmen und nach diesen blöden Zielobjekten suchen, die ich halt auf Prio setzen muss. Und wenn du davon
Ja.
halt, weiß ich nicht, 40 Stück bei dir im Land hast,
Ja.
dann lässt das dauern.
Okay. Frage aus dem Chat von meiner Seite. Jessen, hast du drüber nachgedacht, mal noch vor der Peacetime, wo an deiner Kaserne mal relativ wenig Siedler waren und die auch viel schnell von den Minen oder der Schwere wieder weggepult wurden, mal Diebe zu machen und wirklich zu den Kasernen hinzubringen?
Da habe ich tatsächlich drüber nachgedacht, aber ich war dann zu faul und habe mich entschieden.
Okay. So, Jessen was answering to the question with the C's that he did actually think about that, but was just too lazy to actually do it. That's why we're well off as well.
Achso.
Ja. Wir hatten, Rob und ich hatten noch ein bisschen spekuliert, wie es mit Kampfmana aussehen könnte. Hatte von euch jemand überlegt, das zeitnah noch zu bauen, vielleicht auch vor PT und sich dann dagegen entschieden? Oder wie wäre euer
Also auf
Plan
Buddel sehe ich das
gewesen?
eher nicht so, nachdem man da mit den
Okay,
100%
question was about combat mana,
so leicht Dreier-Solis drücken
and
kann.
both were like, nah, they just don't feel like doing combat mana on these kind of maps where the mines are just working on 100%, being really good at producing those, producing soldiers instead of mana.
Also Mana rate ich auf Metzel und auf Buddel nicht so hoch, einfach mit den perfekten Minen. Also wenn der Berg ausgereizt ist, logisch, aber nicht vorher.
Yeah, and they're saying that if the mountain would be fully covered, you can't really build more. Then, obviously, would combat mana come in.
Ja. Noch irgendjemand Anmerkungen oder weitere Fragen? Ja, ich denke.
Nicht von meiner Seite.
Ja, dann ja, würde ich mich an der Stelle bedanken und ich werde gleich eben noch ein paar Sätze hier verlieren an die anderen Mitglieder im Stream. Aber ich werde mich jetzt erstmal von euch hier, von meinem Co-Caster Rob und auch von Spielern und Agros hier verabschieden. Und ja, bedanke mich für das Match hier heute, das wir casten konnten. Vielen Dank.
Thank you from my side as well. GG's.
Danke auch.
And yeah, I'll be away. You have a great time.
Jo, bis demnächst.
Okay. That was the interview. And yeah, Showmatch is now over. If you're now wanting to participate, you can go to the website and sign up on the sign up page of the website. I can post the link of the website, even the sign up page, directly in the stream chat as well. If you're wanting to support the... Wait, I need to put the English version there, like that. If you want to support the championship, donate, try to cover some of the costs we are having, server costs, prize costs, like we're making a trophy, some stuff like that. We have trying to cover that a bit. You can also do that on the registration page. You'll see all the information there. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed the match. And with that, we'll be seeing each other next week sometime with the show match for the HGMG mode. That is not yet decided who's playing, and therefore also not when it's gonna happen. Trying to be weekend similar to today, and how it was supposed to be with the Metzel as well, although we then had schedule issues like right before the actual show match. And with that, group phase is also gonna start soon. 31st of October is the last date for registration. If you haven't registered till then, you can't anymore. So be sure to register if you want to participate. Everybody can, as long as you have like good internet connection and the stuff to like, you can play Settlers 4 multiplayer online. All you need. And yeah, hoping we'll see you around, and till next show match. Bye bye.